Lessons from 100 billionaires that I have learned. Now, I have classified the billionaires that I've collected into 5 archetypes, which is number 1, the 2 and 20-year, number 2, the market maker, exchange, brokerage owner. Number 3 is the owners of companies slash capital allocators. Number 4 is the founders. Number 5 are the long-term investors. Now, lesson number 1 that I have learned is that I must be excellent at raising capital. I must be very good at raising other people's money. Then obviously get fees from that money. But I must be excellent at being like people who do this. People like Bruce Kovner, people like Chris Rokos, people like Andre Esteves, people like William Ackman. Their skill is in raising capital. So I must learn how to raise capital and how to do that properly. How to raise capital and obviously how to manage it properly. But number one that I've noticed a thing that I've noticed is that raising capital is very, very important. Probably the number one thing. People like Alan Howard. Alan Howard, how I realized this is the main thing, is that I realized Alan Howard, the first person I wrote down there, this man, he's an excellent man at raising capital. I think he had around about 40 billion at his peak, 40 billion under management, assets under management. And this man made, I think, 2% or 3% a year in return. In return. And mind you, if the performance fee is 20%, the investor gets 80%. Let's say the investor got about 2% that year. 2%. And then the money that came to him was like $300 million that year. Then that's when I realized, wow, raising capital is the number one thing. Because even 1% on billions is a lot of money. 1% on a billion is a lot of money. Life-changing money. So that's when I realized, oh, raising capital, that's the game. Getting capital, that's the game. So yes, this is the thing. Be excellent at raising capital. All these fund managers that I've written here, I used to think, oh, their skill is in, they have so much skill in trading. Oh, they must make 1,000%, or they must make 1,000,000%, or they must be able to turn 10 million into 100 billion. How they turn that $10 million that they get to $100 million is that they get more capital. Not more returns, more capital. Remember, 1% on a billion is $10 million. 1% on a billion is $10 million. So that's the game. Number 2, rather than trading, create a platform for others to do it. For others to trade. Monetize volume. Monetize volume. Now this I'm learning, or I learned from market makers, exchanges, brokers. Just like this one, number 1, the first lesson, I learned it from the 2 and 20 years. Now check out my video on the types of billionaires, because I cover all these archetypes. I cover all of them. So number 2, rather than trading, create a platform for others to do it. Monetize volume. Get people to do transactions on a platform, or get people on a platform As long as you have a lot of people on a platform, there is always ways to monetize. Always ways to monetize. There is always ways to monetize. So create platforms, any platforms, apps, exchanges, brokers. Create where people can do transactions or where people can gather. Then obviously there will be money. Monetize volume of people, volume of transactions, volume. Number 3, get other people's money. That is similar to number 1, raise capital and invest in assets, improve those assets, consolidate those assets or companies. There's a whole lot of money in doing that. Now this number 3 thing I have learned from owners of companies and capital allocators. What they basically do, they get other people's money, invest in companies, improve those companies, consolidate, and then sell them. Meanwhile, they're getting dividends. So there is no problem. This is number 3. Get other people's money, raise capital, invest in companies, improve those companies, consolidate, sell. Sometimes you don't even need to consolidate. You just sell the companies. And sometimes you don't even need to sell the companies. You just refinance, get money out, and then spend that money, live on that money. Number 4, create a company that sells something that people often use or need. For example, is banks, tokens, loans, trading platforms, stores as a like that the people drink with. Why I wrote that, because there's a person here, I think it's Kenneth Dot, that sells stores to franchises, stores to I think big retailers or restaurants, etc. But these are things that people need or often use. I learned this lesson from founders. Create a company that sells something that people often use or need. Last but not least, invest and hold for decades. The least of people who do this, the least of them do it. And the people who do it have a lot of money. I mean, look at Warren Buffett. Has a lot of money. Invest and hold for decades. Invest in companies or a company that sells valuable products or a valuable product while you hold it for decades. Meanwhile, you'll be getting dividends. So those are the lessons. Let's do a recap. Number 1, be excellent at raising capital. Be excellent at it. Raise a lot of capital. Raise billions in capital. Get fees from that. Number 2, create platforms that attract volume. Create platforms that attract people in large amounts or that do transactions. Platforms that have volume. Platforms or things or brokerages or exchanges. Number 3, get other people's money, invested in valuable businesses, improve those businesses, consolidate those companies or not, then sell or refinance. I repeat, get other people's money, invest it, gain. That is simply it. Number 4, create a company or companies that sell something that people often use or need. I repeat again, create a company that sells something that people often use or need. Number 5, invest in companies that sell valuable products and hold for decades. Invest in companies that sell valuable products and hold for decades. That is that for me, and this is the lessons that I have learned from studying 100 billionaires. Cool.